Hey guys, Jeff here with Yakety Mac. Welcome to the channel. So the video you are about to watch was actually filmed a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't release it because I didn't feel like it was going to add the value that I wanted it to. But now, after having spent a couple of weeks thinking about what I learned, I've made a couple of modifications to this boat, and now I feel like it's going to add the value that I want. So watch the video, you'll see where my mindset was at, you'll see what problem or problems I was trying to solve, and then hang around. It's going to appear like it's coming to an end, but it's not. Hang around. I'll meet you back here and I'll unveil my modifications, and I want to know what you think.
Ooh, yakety mac.
Hello and welcome to Yakety Mac. As always, I appreciate you watching, guys. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. And if you're not, I hope you'll consider becoming one. We are aboard the Bass Raider, going to do a little bass fishing this morning, but this trip is going to come with a twist because today I'm going to fish as a guest in my own boat. The lovely Mrs. Yakety Mac is going to come up here and run the trolling motor while I fish from the back seat where my guests fish from, because I want to know if the experience back there is as good as it can be. I have a suspicion that it's not, and I'm pretty sure it's my fault. So the only way for me to know for sure is to put my butt into that seat and fish as a guest. I hope you'll come along on this trip, and maybe whatever we learn can help you improve your guest experience too. I'm going to start off in my normal position this morning so I can contrast the difference between how I'm able to cast here versus how I'm able to cast at the back. So as you can see, I'm able to make a wide variety of casts. I'm able to cast directly in front of the boat. I am able to cast at an angle off the front of the boat. And I'm able to cast directly off the side of the boat. So after having this out with a guest a few times now, what I've come to realize is that when you're sitting in the back, your options are very much limited the way I currently have the seat position, which is as far back as it will go. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to switch places and get back there and demonstrate just how limited your options are and what I think I'm going to be able to do to help correct that. So I'm positioned at the back of the boat the way my guests always sit, and I've got a lot of leg room up here. I'm able to stretch out my legs, and leg room is important because I want my guests to be comfortable. But unlike being at the front of the boat, I don't have the ability to cast up here ahead of me, or I'm going to hit the misses in the back of the head. And if I try to stay on my half of the boat back, that pretty much means that I've got a very small window here that I can make casts to. So my thinking is, what if I move the seat up closer and I create the same angles at the back that I have at the front? So right now you'll see that I'm fishing off of the left side of the boat, and typically I set it up on the right side, and that's because I'm left-handed and I want to mirror what a right-hander would face on that side of the boat. So I am going to move the seat up closer to the center, and instead of focusing so much leg room between the two seats, I'm going to focus the leg room towards the back of the boat for the guests, so that the guests can have all of the same angles that I have. I'm going to see if that helps out. Okay, so now I have positioned the seat about 10 inches or so from its most furthest back point. So I'm able to turn around and have my legs and basically face the back of the boat, but have all of the same angles here that I had when I was at the front of the boat. So I can easily make casts off the side. I can easily make casts at an angle, and I don't have to worry about crossing over into that side and potentially hanging up with the person that's in the front of the boat room. I do have the battery still back here. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it here or maybe move it under the seat because I still have the storage crate. If you've seen my 3-part series where I kind of show my overall review, then the setup of the boat, and then an on the water review, you'll know that I created these crates. And the camera's in a fixed position right now, so I'm not able to show you that. But I created a crate system for storage and keeping floor space open as much as possible. I think my attempt to create all the floor space in between the two seats was a little bit misplaced, misguided. One thing I will say about this position here, but this is going to be anytime you're fishing off the back of a boat, is that this position, you're always moving away from the target that you're throwing to. But it doesn't matter if you're on a bass raider or you're on a ranger, the person at the back is always going to be moving away from their target. But I like the fact that I have all of this open space to cast from, and I'm not limited to a small window. Now all of a sudden I really have what's basically considered my space. This feels like anything I can do back here, I'm not going to interfere at all with the person up front. And so guys, we got us a little fella. Whew. There we go. Nice healthy looking little bass. So I've been casting around again for a few minutes just to make sure that this is actually better than the way that I had it before. And so far it seems to be. Now, I am inclined to want to put my foot up on the side of the boat. It just, for me, it just kind of helps me get to the angle that I want to get at. I don't want to be facing backwards all the time. I kind of want to be angled off the boat this way here so I can make a cast to the left, I can make cast to the right, I can make cast directly across. So I find that kind of by positioning my leg here up on side, so I've got the one leg on the floorboard and the one up on the side here, that it gives me more room to just kind of move around as opposed to trying to keep both of the feet back here. Plus, it keeps me from having the battery be an issue by trying to keep my feet pointed towards the back of the boat. So I definitely think that this is the way to go. I'm able to make every cast that I need to make from here, and I'm able to work the lure back to the boat without having to worry about smacking. You know, when you're facing this way up front, I'm going to turn back around here and show you that when you are facing this way here and you've got a person directly in front of you, it's harder to work the rod as you're coming back in and back to the boat, because what ends up happening is that the tip of your rod is up here where the same person at the front is working. By facing this way, you're able to work the tip of the rod off the back of the boat. So you've got one person up front who's working one way and the person in the back who's working another. So I'm going to wrap it up. I don't know if you can tell this or not, hopefully not through the audio, but the wind is really picking up, and the missus has done a fantastic, this is her first time ever driving a boat, and she's done a fantastic job, and I couldn't have brought her out on a worse day for it, because the wind is pretty severe. So I appreciate you hanging out, guys. Remember, subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, share this video. And I'm thinking that by moving this seat forward, I might be able to do something now that's going to help out with rod storage. I don't know yet. I'm going to experiment a little bit. And if I do come up with something, you can bet there's going to be a forthcoming video. Okay, guys, so you see, I was really kind of struggling with the guest experience, and I have decided to move forward with facing the seat towards the back, much like I discovered in my outing a couple of weeks ago. Now, I went back and forth on what I was going to do with the battery, but since most of my guests are going to be right-handed and the cables are short, the battery was going to be here, and thus that was going to interfere with legroom. So I have moved the battery. I'm going to show you where and how I did that. And I also teased the fact that I was dreaming up something about rod storage, and I think I've got that solution. I'm going to grab the handheld unit and show you what I've got set up here. And then I'm going to climb up into the boat so you can see that the way I'm storing the rods does not interfere with mobility or casting at all. Okay guys, as you can see, I've got the seat positioned towards the rear of the boat like I did on my fishing trip, and the battery is gone. So in order to move the battery, I had to order some extension cables from Amazon. They're Newport vessels, because the cables coming out of the Bass Raider are not very long. You almost have to have your battery right here if you're going to use these cables. So I ordered their 5-foot red, 5-foot black, comes with brass connectors. I'll throw a picture up here so that you can see those. And then I found this, which is a cable protector organizer. It's water snake. I got this at Walmart for like 15 bucks. So I've run the cables through there, and I've got them hooked up to the battery that I have now repositioned more closer to the center of the boat. It's actually a little bit more towards the back, but it's pretty close to the center of the boat. So this, guys, gives a lot of leg room. The seat is moved back 10 inches from its furthest point, and I can't wait to get up in there and show you what that looks like. I also cannot wait to show you this. I've spent all morning putting this together and working on this. This is my vertical rod storage. I can't wait to show you how this does not interfere with either fisherman at all. And then, of course, up here in the front, I've got the normal setup that I've always had, and that has 11.5 inches of space, but I had to give myself a little bit of extra room because of the handle on the trolling motor. So, guys, I'm going to get up in the boat and show you what this is all about. I'm going to throw some rods in there, and hey, look, that's not permanently attached. I can't wait to show you what I've done there. So, I'll see you back in just a second. Okay, guys, so here I am, and as you can see, I have got all kinds of leg room. And if you've seen my setup video, part 2 in a review series that I did, I'll put the link in the description to that video. You know I've dedicated this side of the boat for fishing. And that's because with me being a lefty, I want to be able to cast off the front of the boat this way, and a righty can cast this way. And so you've got ample room to move around here, put your foot up on the side and cast this direction if you want to, cast that direction. This might look weird because my right hand is pretty much useless. You can cast straight off of the back. This gives you a lot of options right here. And as you can see, these rods will not interfere at all, right? So they're not going to interfere with the casting. They're not hanging out here to the side to get hung up on. So the vertical positioning of these rods prevent them from interfering with anything that you've got going on at all. And they actually kind of make this rod tube a little bit pointless now, because if you want to change lure, change bait, take a fish off, simply turn around, put your rod in right here, put it into your rod storage, and now you can work on the lure or take the fish off or whatever it is that you need. Okay, so once again, ample room to stretch out if you need to. As you guys know, as I talked about in the video, I like to fish with my foot up on here. So being able to cast, I can just turn like this, grab one of my rods out of the rod holder, be able to cast this direction, that direction, that direction, that direction. So this really gives me a lot of options. And once again, these do not interfere with either seat. Okay, so speaking of the rod holder, I'm about to hop out of the boat. I'm going to take the rod holder out of the boat, show you how I made it, show you how I've got it set up, just in case you're interested in something like this. This does not allow me to have more rod storage. It simply prevents me from having to lay them down here on the side. If you saw my video, again, part 2, you know that I put 2 this way and 2 coming the other way, but even still, they still get line against line, or line gets caught on the guy's lure back here, or vice versa. So this will prevent all of that. It doesn't give me more capacity, but it does keep me from knocking one over the side. It does keep the whole tangledness from going on here, and it keeps the boat kind of open on this side as well if we need it. So I'm going to jump down, show you this here. So here's the rod storage system that I've created. These are 4 Ozark Trail rod holders. They're like $12.50 a piece. They come with 3 different mounting braces. I went with this one so I could mount vertical, and it comes with the hardware that you need as well. And so I just simply spaced them out. This board is 20 inches long because that's how wide I've cut my floorboard. And it's just a 2x4. And as you can see, these just pop right out. You can feel a little notch down in there, but you also, when you put them back in, you feel that little notch catch, and then you give it a little turn. And once you do, they're in there securely until you turn them again. So there you go. As you can see, it holds just fine. And then Velcro sticks really well to this particular carpet. So I've got just a couple of little Velcro pieces, and I'll attach one here, put it down to the floorboard. Same thing here on the other side. And then I've got this little mounting bracket. I have absolutely no idea what it used to go to. But anyway, I've simply mounted it here on the side, and I set the trolling motor battery on top of this. So as you saw, I had this sitting in the back like this. The battery sits down. Actually, I had these turned the other direction. And then the battery sits down on this to hold this. So if you come across any wind or you bump it or anything, it's not going to go anywhere. Everything's secure, including your rods. Everything is handy. Guys, if you have any questions about this, please let me know. If there's something I didn't cover, I can't wait to actually get out on the water and show you how this works out. But anyway, I appreciate you watching. Sorry it took me so long to get this put together, but I wanted to make sure I did it right. Please subscribe if you haven't. Like this video, share this video, and as always, make sure you take time to get outside and play.